Hey, Mark, fake banter for the intro.
That's all I know how to do.
Great.
Good to be here.
Welcome to Tuesdays with
Stories.
Hit her in the face with a surfboard.
And then the duck fell out of his bag.
Surf's up. And she didn't even flush.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? Mark Norman and Joe List.
Yeah! This is Tuesdays with Stories, everybody.
No, that's terrible.
This is supposed to be cheesy.
My radio is spitting at me.
Ah! Here we are, folks. Pick it up, sweep it up, lick it up. It's Tuesday. We're here. We're back. It's been years. It's snowing. I'm gay. You got diarrhea. We're all over the place.
Wait, how do you know about the diarrhea?
I assumed you've been eating jicama and ass for 3 days.
I mean, I got wild diarrhea. I was going to save that for the end. That was going to be my big closer, but you saw it on my face.
Yeah, sorry. I jumped the gun, and I assumed you had it, but I just couldn't think of a funnier word, so I went with diarrhea. But I can't wait to hear all about it. You've been backpacking. You've been all over the world. You're a jet setter.
Yeah, it's wild. I gotta say, I am so grateful to be home. I'm like, I'm just rolling around in dirty laundry. I dove in the trash barrel. I just can't tell you how good it is to be home. I went to Starbucks and I blew every single woman in there. They gave me an Emperor's Clouds hot tea. I just dumped it on my own face.
Yeah,
and
I mean, we shit on America all day, but when you get back, you're like, oh, that Chipotle takes a card. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I said this, I don't think we were doing the pod then, but I kept saying when I went to Peru back in the day, because of course Europe is just America. I mean, who are we kidding here? You know, it's
sure.
pretty much the same. Whatever.
It's older.
They're a little
gayer.
gayer. Yeah, exactly. But you know, I went to Peru back in 2010, and it makes you realize all the things you hate about America. Like, this is beautiful, this is so cheap, this is affordable, and the Amazon, and they just live live small in these huts. But then you also are like, God, I'd kill for a movie theater or a Starbucks, a pair of white tits, you know. There's a lot of things you love,
yes.
But that's how I'm feeling right now. Is it just feels so good to go and get a cup of tea that's a good temperature with a lid.
Yeah.
And they got chocolate chip cookies everywhere. It just feels good to be back in the good old US of A where everyone hates each other.
Here. Well, you know what it is? You need a balance there, fatty. Like, you get your Starbucks here, they take your credit card, then you go to Ecuador or whatever, and they pull you in a rickshaw, and you can kill a trans person in the street, and nobody cares. So it's good to do both.
Yeah, exactly. You got to balance. But yeah, we went to a grocery store, a mini market, and Marquette, that's like a female U.
Ah.
Yeah, okay. I'm a little rusty.
That'll be me in a few years.
So we go into the market, and Sarah and I get 5 bags of groceries, like full bags, 3 in one hand, 2 in the other. She didn't carry shit. And they're like, that'll be $20.50. And they take American money down there. It's kooky. Their whole system crashed a couple days ago or whatever, so they take American cash. They give you like a Ben Franklin bill.
Right.
It's very strange. They're sad people with no money.
I think they like that. They go, ooh, look at this greenback over here, huh? I think they dig it.
It's very strange. You're like, here's Abraham Lincoln, who didn't do shit for Ecuador as far as I can tell.
Right. Well, yeah, but you try to use a Canadian quarter in New York, they kick you in the tits.
Yeah, well, down there they suck you off for that. But so it was pretty exciting, but I don't even know where to start. I got a lot from Ecuador. I also went to Key West for 3 days. I got to talk about Comedy Key West, which you got to book. Get on the horn. Get your agent, your manager, or nobody. Call Tom Dustin up on the phone because you've done it before, right? You did Comedy Key West previously?
I did, and it was a fucking blast. Tom Dustin's the best host. He's a great tour guy. We jet skied. We got drunk. We made love. It was fucking awesome. Every show was sold out. The crowds are fun. I love Key West. So if I ever run over a kid or do something horrible, I'm moving there. It seems like it's just a bunch of runaways drinking it up.
That's what it is, and they have a term I just learned that I love, my new favorite thing, and I want to write a sitcom. It's called Keys disease. You ever hear that term?
No, I like it.
That's when you run away, you get a motorcycle, you hitch a ride to Key West, and then you stop showing up for work, you get a fat ass, you get, AIDS or whatever, and you get those fried tits, the ladies that are all those like brick-colored tits.
Yeah, you want to do a set in front of them. I know what you mean. Yeah, everybody's got that catcher's mitt skin. I might have keys.
Yeah, it's a fun disease, but so we went down there. So the old room is gone. That room was like at the shitty end of town, whatever. It was fun, but it was in a bar. But now they have their own room. They bought it. My buddy Joe Madaus and Dustin, they went in, I don't know, with a couple other guys, some really hot guy, and they have their own room, and it's like a block off of Duval Street, which is Bourbon Street, if you're not familiar with Key West. By the way, we've talked about this before, but Key West and New Orleans are so similar to me, I get them confused. I have memories from each city that I flip. They both have this, there's like a lot of like those triple-decker mansion-y houses.
Yep.
They got a history of the arts, and then they each have the same street, Duval and Bourbon, which the locals hate, all the tourists come to, and you probably get beat up if you make eye contact with anybody.
Yeah, it's a little dicey. It's all about fun and booze and partying. And my opener every night was Key West is like if New Orleans fucked a Red Lobster. Because it's got a little more Caribbean, seafoody fish vibe.
Yeah, the New Orleans has Louis Anderson and what's his name again? The black one.
Satchmo?
No, Louis Armstrong.
Armstrong.
Yes.
Who is Satchmo?
Satchmo.
Is that Woody Allen's kid?
Satchmo Page. I'm not sure. Did you watch the Woody Duck?
I haven't. I don't want to watch it. I don't want to see him go down like that.
I know it's hard because I love Woody so much. I'm still defending him. They're like, he finger fucked a child, and I'm like, but it was funny. Come on, he was goofing around. It's putting me in a really bad position here.
Yeah. Well, they say he said it was a chop job or whatever you call it.
Hit job, chop shop.
Yeah. What is when they cut it up? It looks bad. It's a whack job. Hand
blow
job?
No, it's called a hit job. A hit job.
Is it a hit?
A hit piece.
Hit piece. Yes.
That's an article. A hit piece is in words.
Good point. This was something else, I think, but hit piece is good.
I think so. I've heard his side. I've read his side. Mia's had plastic surgery, so she's probably lying, I assume. I don't know. But
yeah.
Who knows? It's only part one. By the way, part one is like devastating. I'm like, I got to watch 3 more hours of this. This is going to be brutal.
Yeah. Whack job, cut job. Call in if you know. That's going to bug me. But Shelbo, you got it? I don't know. But yeah, all right. So you're in Key West. It's a magical place. Your problems just slip off you. Something about that town. They just float away.
Yeah, it's a great town, and I first went there back in 2006 with Dustin. I think he came on the podcast. We told some stories. We got robbed by prostitutes in Miami, and we ended up telling stories for money, which was amazing. And we were like, we got to move here. What if we just moved here? We'll perform in Mallory Square. We'll open our own place. And he did it, the son of a bitch. I mean, he's done it. He's living the dream down there.
Love you, Tommy.
But anyways, the new room is killer. You got to go do it. It's a perfect intimate stage, small room, but they pack it in, and then you can hang outside, which is nice. It's like a green room on the balcony, and then he's got a megaphone because when all the people drive by, you can shout fun stuff through the megaphone. You go, hey, your blinker's on, and then there's a ghost tour that comes by, and he always yells, "You're all doomed," and they all scream, "Fuck you!" It's a good time.
Oh man, I love it. Wow, Tom really did it. He really made something out of Key West, and he brought comedy there. He's a special guy, that Tom.
And I got to say to all the fans down there, make it a trip. If you see one of your favorite comics, fly down there. Why go see Mark Norman at the Omaha Funny Boat? Well, go there too, but hop on a plane, fly to Key West, make a vacation. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I do for Pearl Jam. I go, hey, Pearl Jam's playing in Seattle. I want to see them in their hometown. I'll fly out there. Hey, Brandy Carlisle's playing at, the Firehouse in Atlanta. I'm going to go down there and see it.
Yeah, that's a great point. You know what you got? You got Herpes disease.
Oh.
Aha. All right. Been sitting on that one for too long. Had to get it out.
Not bad. But anyways, went down there, had a great time. Now, let me throw this at you. I haven't traveled in a while, haven't dealt with all the shit you deal with.
Yeah.
What do you make of this one? I'm interested to hear your opinion on this, and this is slightly racial.
Ooh, lay it on me, fatty.
Well, everyone loves a little race stuff these days. It's
Sure.
not too sensitive. But so obviously, you know, it's very difficult to be black and all that stuff. But so there's sometimes it feels a little advantageous socially in these little situations. So we're on the flight to Key West, and there's two flamboyantly gay black men in front of us. Like, you know, super silly, hi, like the kind of
Sure.
crazy, very loud the whole flight. And they're fine, they're having fun. They're going down there on vacation, and they're pushing each other into the bushes and going, you're crazy, girl. Shut up, girl. Like that kind of
Sure.
stuff, which is all fun. I'm pro silly,
Yeah, I'm into
fun,
it.
gay.
I'm
yeah.
hard.
Yeah, so they're doing that, and then we're getting off the flight, and as you know, you do the shuffle where every row goes, and then the row behind.
Hate the shuffle.
And there's a couple people that always try to blast forward, of
Yes.
course. So,
Premature ejaculation.
and then there's a
Or
couple people.
evacuation.
There's a couple people that take forever to get their bag down. They're
Yep.
lollygagging.
Yeah, I hate the gag.
So we're behind the two gay fellas who, again, are very nice. They were pleasant. We had a couple. We exchanged pleasantries, and they're having a nice time. They're going to Key West. They're having a good fun. So there's a lady, regular old white. There are two rows. The gay blacks are two rows in front of us,
Okay.
and or maybe they're one. It doesn't matter, but they're in front of us. There's a crusty old regular Karen white lady, and she's unpacking. She's taking forever. She's the lollygagger.
Yep.
So then, because she's lollygagging, gay black guy number one goes by.
Uh-oh.
But now she's ready. So she turns to get into the aisle to leave, and gay black guy two kind of walks into her at the same time. She goes, just go. Go ahead. She does this. Go. Lets him go.
That's
Says,
not bad.
Go ahead. Not bad.
Yeah.
There's a lady behind gay black guy number two, and she's Karen regular white lady number two,
Uh-oh.
and she goes to pass, and then the lollygagger goes, hello, can I go?
Ooh.
Excuse me. What do you make of that?
I know what I make of that, and it's a fascinating sociological thing you just saw. I mean, we could dissect this all day, but there is white privilege, but we act like white privilege is one thing. We have privileges, and then black people have privileges. It's not white privilege. It's you get a privilege here, you get a privilege there. Same with black people. They get a privilege here, they get a privilege. Hispanic people get a privilege there, whatever. And that's a privilege. It's a little bit of guilt. It's a little bit of the times we're living in, and it's a little bit of like, I don't want to be the bad guy. I've seen enough cell phone videos. You go. But hey, honky lady, we're on the same level, so no dice.
Now, we should note, of course, white privilege certainly has been miles greater than black
Yes.
privilege ever has, of course. We're not trying to, make any newspapers here. Certainly better to be white in the history and all the business.
Right.
But in this particular situation, I feel
Yes.
like this guy got certainly preferential. And what was so jarring about it, I've never seen anybody change so fast. Even like my drunk uncle who would kick me in the asshole after taking me to the movies.
Yeah.
It was literally this fast. She was like, go ahead. Hello, can I go? And I was
Right.
like, you just stood there and let a person go. You can't be mad. You could be like, oh, it's my turn. I'm sorry. But she
Yeah.
was like a cunt to this lady within a half a millisecond of giving you go.
It's fascinating, and it's great to see and that's a great catch because it just proves every thought I've ever had. Like you're kind of faking it here, but you're your real self here. We're all kind of phony, so it's nice to see those moments. You're like, all right, everything I thought was true. And here's my thing. You know when like you do something kind of racist, and then some black guy goes, "Oh, it's because I'm black, huh? It's because I'm black," and you're like, maybe. But they never do the "it's because I'm black" when you do something nice. You know.
Interesting.
If a white guy's playing his music on the subway, I'm like, Jesus, man, there's people on the subway. But if he's black, I'll go, hey. And they never go, you let me play my music because I'm black.
Right. And you're like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I didn't want to be a douche or, white devil or whatever.
A Karen, I think it's called. But this
Yes.
lady had quite a flip. I've never seen a flip like that. She was like Scott Hamilton on the ice. I mean, a real backflip. And I just thought it was fascinating, and I felt bad for White Lady too, who was like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be an asshole. You were letting people go. You were lollygagging, and you were so pleasant to this fellow.
And it would just be nice if the two black gays, and I think black people are perceptive enough, they've been through enough that they get it. They know what's going on. Like, I have black friends who are like, oh yeah, if I see some white guilt, I'm using it, and I'm like, good, at least you admit it. That's all I need is the acknowledgement.
Yeah, I have no problem with her letting the one guy go and not letting the second lady go, but it should have been a little more like, go ahead, go for it. Excuse me, I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
Just, you don't have to be so. She was blowing the one guy and eating out the lady in a bad way.
Right. She pulled an Elliot Page, the quick flip. But
quick flip.
Yeah, it's an odd scenario that is, but it's real. We talk about treating people equally, but you really shouldn't, because we've got certain histories and social norms that you got to abide by. So equality is no good. You'll get in trouble for treating people equally.
Right. The dude abides. So, which I watched Lebowski on the plane yesterday. What a fun film.
Great film. Weird, interesting. Coen Brothers.
So
Top
fun.
notch.
I can't stop itching. I got these bug bites. It's brutal. It's like sex once you start itching.
Oh, it feels so good. That tingly, kind of painful, kind of feels good vibe.
It's tough because they're not itchy for a while, and then they itch up, and it's just too much for me to handle.
Hurts so good.
Yes. John Cougar.
Yeah, which is one time when I was a younger man and I was prying with women, I was like, what is a dick? Is a big dick? Do you really need that? And they were like, sometimes it hurts, but sometimes it hurts so good. And I remember we're like, oh, wow, that was hot.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was just thinking about this because, I was in Ecuador with Ari, and he had his dog, Bandit, who I love, and we had a good time. But, you're driving around, and you got to hold Bandit will sit in your lap. And these dogs, they just step on your dick and balls.
Brutal.
And,
it's like
I was
a prostitute with a Wall Street guy.
Exactly. And I was like, he just fucking crushed my ball. And the topic came up of like, some guys are into that, which is so wild to me that someone could be into stepping on your balls.
I know. I never got that either, and it's a domination thing. They run the gamut all day in the stock room, and then they want somebody to do it to them, and I'm like, but it still hurts.
Yeah, see, I get domination. I like a woman to sit on my face and like hold my head and like rub her pussy on my face.
Ooh. Easy, fatty.
Spit in my mouth a little bit, take my own cum and whip it into my asshole. I like that stuff. The casual, domination, but the pain business, the cutting and the choking and the thumbtack up your asshole, it's for the birds.
I agree. I'm with you. Let me throw out some road stuff at you, and then I want to hear all about the jungle.
No, I want the road stuff. Please hit me.
All right. Well, first of all, I was supposed to be in Tejas this weekend, but obviously it's going through a blizzard over there. It's nuts down there. Have you seen the news stories?
A little bit. I've peeked in a couple times. I heard some pipes burst, and that was just Tim Dillon's sex life. Hello. I heard that it's snow and frozen and the whole thing.
Yeah, that people have died. Like some old lady sat in her car for warmth and then froze to the windshield like Garfield, and everybody's out of power, and they don't own jackets down there because it's Texas. It's a nightmare. The roads are fucked. Who knows what's going on? So my shit got canceled, and the week before that, I was in Springfield, Missouri.
The Blue Room.
Yes, not bragging. They got a whole new setup. It's a warehouse now. And, God, I got to tell you, when I got there, the high was 6.
Oh, 6 degrees.
Yes.
Right. That's when I was in Key West. I think we texted a little bit. I was like 90. I was walking around shirtless in Key West.
Oh, that's right. It was you go outside, your jeans stick to you, they're frozen, your snot's hard. Oh, it was a nightmare. But the shows were great. Great people, great time. Chris, the guy who runs the joint, he took me out every night. He's one of these guys who wants to show you a good time so much that you're like, all right, I got it, And just had a great time. We went to a strip club during the day, had a steak. That was awkward. And then went to another strip club at night. And yeah, it was a fun town. And so just shout out to Chris in the Blue Room. Go there if you're in Springfield. But whoo, man, it was chilly, and I'm just so sick of these connecting flights. I miss a direct flight. That's all I want out of life.
Yeah, Springfield is not a lot of direction going from Springfield.
No, you got to get up at 8, then you don't get to Springfield till 6, then you got to go right to the gig and get your ass eaten. But the flight back was such a nightmare, and I'm going to try not to come off anti-Semitic. I don't want to pull a Farrakhan here, but I flew from Springfield to Chicago, connection, Chicago to Newark. Chicago, my entire flight was Hasidic Jews. I was the only non-Jew on the flight. Maybe there was an old black lady and an Asian guy in the back, but I was in the epicenter of a full Hava Nagila. I mean, I'm talking the tassels, the big hats, the cloaks, reading the Torah backwards. One kid got circumcised. They're playing cards like over the aisle. If you look down the aisle, you can just see cards going. There's a kid crawling. I mean, it was bananas. Babies are being passed over me. Oh, my God. I wanted to lose it on these people.
Passover.
Aha!
What was going on? Because it's interesting you say that, because last night we flew back from Atlanta to Ecuador and we had a ton of Jews on the flight. And it was just yarmulke, regular yarmulke Jews.
Yeah.
But there's like Jews like our friends.
Right.
That aren't wearing yarmulkes on airplanes. Then there's like yarmulke Jews, and then there's Hasidic, I think, or Orthodox Jews. It gets all confusing because so many of our friends are Jews, but I never see any of them with a yarmulke or curls or cards.
No, I think it's the same with any religion. Like we have, do we have Muslim friends?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but they're not wearing their wife's not wearing a cloak with a burqa and the eye slit and not letting them drive and shit.
Yeah, exactly.
But these guys were all in, and they wear the mask right here. And the stewardess would come by and go, "Hey, lady, you got to put the mask up." And she would roll her eyes and go, "Whoop," and then the lady would walk away and she'd go, "Boop." I mean, they did not give a fuck, and it was so loud, and they're up in the aisle. They're doing like double dutch in the aisle. I had to go back by the bathroom and just go like, and the lady was like, I feel you, brother. I know. And we high-fived, and I had to go back. I mean, it was tough.
So did you get any scoops? Was there an event, or is it just...
I didn't want to ask.
Fun.
I assume somebody was cutting a diamond in New York and they had to go supervise. I don't know what the hell was happening, but I saw a crazy move. There was one fat lady sitting between two black couples or a black couple, and the black girl goes, "Do you mind if we can sit together?" And she goes, "I'm good." And I was like, "Oh my God. I'd never seen anything like it."
Wow, but so she wanted to keep the middle seat?
Well, she was on the aisle. The black gal was on the other aisle, and the black guy was in the middle.
Wow, so she just liked her side of the plane, I guess.
I guess so, but she was not having it, and I couldn't believe my eyes because I've been there, and I always give it up because I'm not a sociopath, but she was like, "Nah, screw you, sister.
Wow.
I want this aisle."
I wonder if that was racism. She could have been, old school. Like, hey, she could have been the opposite of my lady that said, "Hey, it's enough already with these blacks. You give them an inch, they take your seat."
Right, there you go. 40 acres in a seat. But who knows? But yeah. Oh, yeah. So it was just a nightmare to fly now because flights used to be fun with the COVID. It's like you got the whole aisle, you got the whole row, and now it's a free-for-all.
It's filling in again. But yeah, I know one thing's getting better. Tuesdays with Stories is now brought to you by Blue Chew. Get more confidence in the bedroom, folks. Blue Chew offers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in a chewable tablet.
Ooh.
If you don't like swallowing pills, I know I don't. This is for you, folks. It works fast. You can take it day or night. It's chewable. You'll save a ton of money compared to the name brands. Blue Chew is the best thing about the internet, an online prescription service. That means no doctor's office or waiting in line. We know how hard that can be here in America. You can talk to a licensed medical provider to get your prescription all online. Everything Blue Chew prescribes ships right to your door in a discreet package, and Blue Chew makes everything in the USA. You're supporting American jobs here, folks. The economy's having trouble. And if you're having some trouble in the bedroom, get yourself some Blue Chew ASAP. Tell them how to do it, Mark.
You got that right, sister. Special offer just for the gays. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment free when you use our promo code Tuesdays. Just pay 5 clams in shipping. That's great. 1 Finsky for shipping, and you can get a whole bunch of Blue Chew. Again, that's BLUE Chew.com. Promo code Tuesdays to try it free. How could you say no? Blue Chew's good stuff.
Try it for free, folks. Do it. And hey, we got another sponsor on this episode. And this, I got to really sing the praises, which I'll get into the story in Ecuador. But Tuesdays with Stories is also brought to you by Sheath Underwear. And Sheath Underwear saved my ass, or my ball, I should say. You know, I've talked about my varicocele before.
Yes.
Mark's showing off his Sheath T-shirt, his Sheath shirt. And, I got the bag of worms in my balls, varicocele, I think it's called, the varicose vein in your balls, and it can be quite painful. And I was in Quito, Ecuador, and so the elevation is huge, and it was killing my testicle, my nut. It was killing my vibe.
Whoa.
I had a painful nut. And you know what I did? This is a true story. I went back to my room. I took off my whatever underwear. I put on my sheath that just cups the balls. It separates the dick and balls. It's got its own pocket. And these underwear, I felt better in a matter of moments because of Sheath Underwear. I can't recommend this stuff enough.
Wow.
Keeps your balls off your leg. 2 pouches, one for your cock, one for your balls. It's supportive. It's sexy looking. I truly love it, and it saved my my balls in Ecuador. And you got to get yourself a pair. This guy is so kind to us also. So please, just even if his shit sucked, you should support him because of how giving and thoughtful he is. And he's one of you. He's a Tuesday. But his stuff is amazing. The idea for Sheath came from its founder, U.S. Army soldier Robert Patton, during his 2nd tour in Iraq. 2 tours of Iraq. He's supporting a veteran, for God's sake.
Yep.
Support this awesome veteran-owned company whose founder is a Tuesday himself and a big comedy fan. You know how to do it. Tell him how, Mark.
Wow, what a vouch. You're not going to get better than that, folks. Go to sheathunderwear.com and order with promo code Tuesdays to get 20% off your first order and Sheath Underwear's 100% money-back guarantee. But you're not sending this stuff back. It's too good. That's sheathunderwear.com, promo code Tuesdays. That's Tuesgays. Get Sheath Underwear and let them support your balls. All right. So, yeah, I've been shacked up in Manhattan with the snow coming down on my ass. So I got nothing. I'm bored. I'm cold. I'm gay. Hit me, fatty. Give me something.
Well, so I just want to touch the Key West thing. That was great. We went down there. It was my first time working a full weekend indoors, and it was so nice. My buddy James Patterson moved there. You know Patterson. He's lived here a couple times. He just moved down there, and
wow,
it's a good move. He's living with Dustin, and he's doing all the spots. He does a spot on every show. It works for Dustin because he's like, they got a lot of Key West comics who are fine. Some of them are awful, but now they got like a ringer down there.
Nice.
So it was great catching up with him, hanging out. It was me, Sarah, Patterson, Dustin, Meadows, and just a great hang. And Dustin's got this killer apartment with like a backyard bar. His girlfriend kicks ass. We were playing the movie game. We could have used you down there. It was a great time. And so many good zingers. My buddy Don Zolo was in town, who I think is a bit of a Tuesday. He was down there.
Zolo.
And just a great time. We played the movie game for hours and just some amazing laughs. We were playing this game, Joking Hazard, which is kind of like Cards Against Humanity. It's a fun, silly game, and just a great time. I was smoking cigars. I went to the Lost Buried Treasure Museum by myself because no one wanted to go, which was pretty fun. I felt like a little boy. Some Tuesday recommended it, by the way. He's like, check out the Lost Treasure, whatever the fuck it's called. Mel Fisher, this guy found an old treasure, and it was pretty cool.
That feels like a rook. It feels like something you're like, I don't know about this. This feels like a jupe. But you say it was good.
It was cute. I had a nice time. Hey, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying pack your bags and go check out the Mel Fisher, but Key West, I don't drink anymore. It's a small town. I've spent a month of my life down there. You got to start looking at some other shit. So
yeah, good point. I mean, if you ain't drinking, that's like being a vegan going to Omaha. Like, what do you do there?
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit triggering. I have to say that.
Yeah.
You just want a day drink. So I smoked about 1,100 cigars. I sounded like Babe Ruth by the end of the night. But
right. But good for this comic. Oh, sorry. Good for this comic. This comic who goes, what's his name? Harrington?
James Patterson?
Patterson. Good for Patterson to go down there because what a great way to live it up, get some sunshine. I'm sure it's wide open. I'm sure there's not one mask in sight, and he's getting spots.
Yeah, it's interesting. They got a lot of anti-mask thing. There's a cop there. He's got tattoos. He's huge. He's like one of these ripped cops, like a skinhead cop, and he's got like his shotgun shells across his chest, and then attached to it, he's got a bunch of like surgical masks, and he's telling everyone, "Hey, you got to mask up," and everyone's like, seriously? And he's like, it's bullshit. I hate it. They're making me say this. It was like this weird thing. So you have to like put your mask on when you walk by the cop, and then everyone takes it down. It's all so silly. By the way, I'm pro-mask. I think we should all be masked up. Ecuador, every single person wears a mask, indoors and outdoors. 100% of the people, they got hit hard early on.
Right.
They had like bodies in the street, the whole thing. So like everybody has a mask on, even outside, which I think is overkill. But the rules, as we've talked about, and I don't want to go into a deep asshole here, but in Florida, you can go into a bar, you have to walk in with a mask on, then you can just take it off once you've come inside. So you can sit in the bar with no mask all day, but they have a cop telling you to put your mask on while walking outside where it doesn't spread. It's all
silly.
Goofy. It's all kind of theatrical.
Yes, theater. I agree.
But so anyway, so then it's the big morning. We drive to Miami. We stay in the hotel. We're flying to Ecuador. We got to fly to Atlanta, then to Ecuador. It's all exciting, but it's nerve-wracking because we had to get tested right before, and I hate the test. They fucking jam it right up your asshole.
Yeah.
And it's expensive, too, to get the PCR test a couple days before. It was like $200 each at this place we went to because it's free testing, but that you got to drive to that or some horse shit.
Yikes.
So we get the test. We're both negative, of course. We double mask on the plane, trying to be as safe as possible. New variants, the whole thing. Don't tweet at me. I don't give a shit. I like wearing a mask. Fuck you, mother. So we're double masked on the flight. It's empty anyways. We get to Atlanta. Now we're flying to Ecuador. We get upgraded to first class, which is so exciting. So we're flying first class to Ecuador. Nobody's on the flight. It's Atlanta to Quito, Ecuador. There's it's us two and three other people. But it's like the shittiest first class. This is some white people problem. I'm a Karen. I'm a Deb. I'm a fucking Joe, whatever. We get on there. It's like an old plane. So the first class, it's supposed to turn into a bed, but it's all slow. It's like the TVs don't work. They're like black and white TVs. It's like bullshit first class.
Rabbit ears.
It was just horrible first class. It was bullshit. I felt like a loser. But anyways, we got the plane to ourselves. We get to Ecuador. Of course, Ari's late picking us up. He's just kind of sitting out there, foreign country. We don't know what's going on. We're going to get robbed.
Wait, what's that flight out? What's that flight time? 4 hours? 5?
About 5. Four and change.
That's
and then
something.
It's scary because you land and they're serious about COVID. It's people with they look like Mark Wahlberg at the end of The Departed. They got hairnets on and like the onesies.
Right.
And they give you a rapid test when you get off the plane. You got like your thing being like, I'm negative. They rapid test you. We're good to go. We come off. We get through customs or whatever. We wait for Ari. He picks us up with the dog. And now you just feel like we did it. We made it. We're in the car. And he's been down there for 4 months. He's in a shitty rental car. It sounds awful. It doesn't switch gears. It's like just in second gear. We're trying to do like 50 miles an hour. You can hear it like, it's just a piece of shit. And it's nighttime. We get there. We have a nice dinner on a rooftop. And it's the only place open. Everything's closed down because of COVID and everything and all that shit. But then Quito is 9,200 feet in the air above sea level, twice as high as Denver. So, in Denver, you get a little kooky. It's you're a little winded and you get drunk faster, whatever.
Right.
This is twice as high. Second highest capital in the world behind, I don't know, fucking Springfield or whatever. We get there. It's 9,200 feet in the air. So right away, I can't breathe. I'm walking up steps. I'm like, plus you're wearing the mask. And so that thing's like sticking to your face and shit. Can't breathe. And then we go up to this rooftop. We're looking over and it's just this gorgeous city. You see the church and the statue and fucking whatever else, the mountains.
Love it.
And I can't breathe. And all of a sudden, Sarah's like, I'm getting dizzy. I got to sit down. She sits down. I'm like, you're probably tired, whatever. We go back to the hotel. And we're sitting there, and she's like, I got to tell you, I feel like I'm tripping. Like the floor is like melty. And I'm like, it'll probably pass.
2
minutes later, I stand up. I fall over. I'm like, whoa. I fall down. It's like we're on acid because we got the it's called AMS, American Music Syndrome or something.
Yes. What's
Mountain, it's mountain
Altitude?
It's altitude mountain snake oil, whatever the fuck it is. It's altitude sickness.
Got it.
And I said, let's just embrace it. Pretend we're on mushrooms. The walls are moving. You can't breathe. And
Wow.
it's just wacky because, and it says you can get it at 8,000 feet. We're 9,200. We didn't even ascend. We just landed there from the pressurized airplane.
Holy hell, this is heavy.
So night one, we're all whacked out and, you know, she's got diarrhea. The toilets, you can't flush toilet paper in South America because their systems, it's all, the rods and cones are all screwed up. So you got to
all pipes.
You got to put the toilet paper in a little trash barrel. So Sarah's got altitude sickness. She's got diarrhea. We're in a room the size of a shoebox, and I just hear, and, you know, she's horrified. She's got to put the toilet paper in a trash barrel. I get the shits right after. Not horrible, but just a little bit muddy, you know. So we got a trash barrel filled with our own shit.
Woo!
And whole room stinks. The walls are shaking. The earth was quaking. You know, my mind was faking.
Yeah, I need some bacon.
So that's that. It's just a crazy time, but we adjust eventually. We stop getting dizzy.
What's the grub? What was the dinner? What'd you eat over there?
Well, the food wasn't really mind-blowing except one meal. It was a lot of like, they have, what do you call that? What's the thing? It's not a hamster, but it's a,
Gerbil?
similar to
Titmouse?
that. No, it's similar to gerbil,
Chinchilla?
hamster. It's a fucking, it's got a slur in it. It's like,
oh, guinea.
yes, guinea pig. That's
guinea
it.
pig.
Guinea pig. Guinea pig is like a food.
I almost said raccoon.
It's a guinea pig. It's a guinea pig is like a delicatessen there, but Ari said he ate it at one point, and they leave the head on it, so it's like it's got teeth, and there's just like a face, and then they got guinea pigs running around in pens. You can see the pig.
Yeah.
It's a little. That's not my seed. So
No, they're plumpy too. They're hefty little Nazis. Those kids.
yeah. So and then we had at one place we had like side of the road arepas. Yeah, we had a Cosby and a Weinstein. The arepas they're like they made them right in front of us. There's like a pancake with chicken and cheese inside. It was like a burger.
That's good.
Yeah, it was nice, and I had a lot of
Rape apologist.
a lot of soups. They got
Sopa.
fish. Fish is big there. Some sopas. Yeah, that's right. And so it was good. It was exciting. But so then the big thing is I got all kinds of stories. So I'll jump around a little bit. But one of the big things is you can't drink the water because it's we're out in Quito. It's okay, but we went to this village called Mindo, Mindo, which is this little village valley town, and they're like, don't drink the water. But I'm a New Yorker. We have the cleanest water. I drink out of the faucet all day. I don't know about
Same.
you. I'm drinking out of the toilet. The shower, I just sit there and gurgle and gargle.
Love a gurg.
So we're not supposed to drink the water. Second to last night, we're having a fun time. We got this beautiful house. I'm jumping around here, but I make a big pot of tea. Cook up the tea. I don't like to boil my tea because the green tea, you're supposed to serve at 175 degrees. So I go, that's hot enough. It's steaming. Anyone else want some tea here? And everyone goes, we're good. We don't need any tea. I'm like, all right, suit yourself.
Yeah.
Make a cup of green tea. I sit outside. I drink it with them. We're playing cards. We're having a lot of laughs. Finish the tea. We're all going to bed early. Got to get up and drive back to Quito.
Uh-oh.
Right as all the lights flick out, Ari's telling some bullshit story, and I go, I got just came on strong.
Yeah.
I go in the bathroom, just revolting diarrhea, explosive everywhere. We're sharing a house with a couple women and Ari.
Yeah.
And I wipe my ass. It's that yellow, it looks like a penalty flag by the time I'm done wiping. And I got to put it in the trash barrel. We're sharing a home. I go upstairs. I'm like, that was crazy. I don't know what happened there. The arepas must have gotten free. They were raping my asshole. I lay down, close my eyes, and like a movie, my eyes flip open. I look at the ceiling and I spring up like fucking the McAllisters, and I go, I made tea out of the faucet. And you know,
Agua.
Sarah's half asleep. She's like, you'll be fine. You cooked it. And I'm like, I want to wake up Ari and his partner and go, hey, what the fuck? Am I going to be okay? Because they had gotten sick previously on their trip from it. And so I'm going, all right, I cooked it. It's probably fine. Let me just try to go to bed. Wake up at 3:30, go downstairs. It's pitch black. It's just the sounds of the jungles.
Wow.
And I'm just shitting my brains out. And I'm like, okay, I'm sure it's fine, whatever. Go upstairs, go back to bed. We wake up at 5:30 a.m. because we're going bird watching at 6 a.m. You know when you go on a trip with people and they try to squeeze in one last thing before you leave?
Hate it.
We go bird watching. I'm like, all right, we'll go watch some birds. And we leave at 5:30 a.m. I tell them, like, I drank the water. They're like, take this drug, stuff that up your ass. Hopefully you'll be okay. And I'm like, I'm feeling all right. We go up to the top of this mountain as day breaks. We're on top of this mountain up in the Andes. It's not a rainforest. It's a cloud forest.
Ooh.
So it rains more consistently. Doesn't, I don't know, some bullshit. But clouds are rolling in. These beautiful canopies, wildlife. We got a big lesbian construction worker bird watcher. All three of those things. She takes us out there. We're looking at the birds. Everything's fine and dandy. And then hits me. I go, give me the keys. I got to go, because we're walking down the mountain. I'm like, I got to go back to the top of the mountain. I saw some baños up there. I got to go shit. That's a restroom. I grab toilet paper. I jump in the car. I'm driving up this twisty road. There's like 4-foot potholes. You're right on the edge. It's like 600 feet down or 3,000 feet. And I'm just hitting these potholes, and I got to shit. Like it's in my asshole, ready to just burst out.
Yes, it's a trap door.
Trap door. I get up to the top, and I get to the baño. I get out of the car, slam the door, and there's just one of these feral wild dogs. There's dogs everywhere. And you know me, I'm afraid of dogs, Jerry. I hate dogs.
Hate a pup.
I hate their assholes. And these are wild dogs. I'm afraid of, like, you know, your mother's dog. I don't like a dog on a leash, let alone just a feral fucking crazy dog. And he's got one blue eye and one bloodshot eye. He's like one of those wolf dogs. He's standing between me and the baño, the perro between me, the hombre, and the baño.
Oh, my God. You should have shit on it.
I was so scared. I almost shit. It was like the lowest point of my whole life. It was like my childhood. I'm missing out on the event because I have to shit, because I fucked up. There's a scary dog between me and the bathroom. It's like a haunted house. And I had to just go like, shoo. I gotta shit. And I'm like kind of like doing like this roundabout thing where I'm trying to walk around the dog, and he's just staring at me. And I'm trying to go, he's not going to attack. None of these dogs have attacked. They'd fucking shoot it if he killed somebody, whatever.
Right.
Finally, I get kind of behind him, and I run into the bathroom, shut the door. I'm just holding it. There's no lock. There's no seat on the toilet. It's just a bowl. And then there's like an open space, no window, just like a hole where there's like bricks. Yeah, and there's not even a trash barrel to throw the toilet paper. No toilet paper. Luckily, I had brought some. So I had to just shit on the rim, like the rim of the toilet bowl, and just crazy, wild shit. I'm afraid the dog's going to hear it. And I hear like sniffing around. I hear like roosters. And I'm like, what am I doing? I'm a piece of shit. This is crazy. There's mosquitoes. I'm getting bitten.
Right. It's not your fault. I mean, you act like you're a bad guy here. You drank the water. Well,
I made tea with the water, and I'm just lucky no one else drank it. I got a little suspicious that one of them saw me doing it and was like, just let him learn his lesson.
Oh, that would be pretty evil. But let me ask you this, because this is all right. Aside from the shitting and the paint in the bowl and the water and the rape, are you kind of like, this is an adventure? I'm getting my ass eaten by mosquitoes. I'm shitting blood. I'm in a mountain. I'm driving up a hill. There's a wild dog. I fucking me. Is it kind of like, this is living?
Yes. Well, what's happening for sure is I'm like, this is good Potter. This is going to be a good podcast. I'm thinking that for sure. If I didn't have the podcast, I don't know. But to me, the living part is being there. Like, we're in a house. Like, you can't believe how beautiful this house is. I posted some photos of the surroundings. I mean, there's a horse. There's a babbling brook. You know, I got the tinnitus, so I usually sleep with my noisemaker on. Didn't even need it because there's a brook outside. Just,
wow.
And we had a station for hummingbirds. There's like a sugar water bird feeder. So these hummingbirds everywhere, like 6 at a time. We got all these slow-mo videos of them. you can't even believe these. So that to me is living. I'm like, this is wild. We're in the jungle, literally, and there's toucans and
Cans.
you know, and it's just beautiful. But the shitting is like, I wish this wasn't happening for sure.
Right.
I mean, and I'm missing out on the bird watching, which was stupid. But so this part is scary. But yeah, there's definitely some of that of like this. I'll tell my grandkids if I ever, you know, fucked without a condom on or whatever.
Right, but it there's no Twitter. There's no I got to put up a story or I got to do a post. It's just like I'm shitting blood. I got to get out of here. There's a dog up my face. I mean, there's a part of you that's kind of, or a part of me listening, like you were in the moment. This is all adventurous.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was definitely. It was the most in the moment you can be because I'm like, do I shit on my pants? Do I fight a dog? Do I just lay here and die? Missing the birds, but shit there, and then we're driving back. We had to go back to the house for breakfast. The whole time they're eating their last breakfast and summing up what a great trip it was.
Yeah.
I'm upstairs shitting my brains out, and then we're driving through the mountains back to Quito, and like every 30 minutes I gotta be like, I gotta shit again. Sorry, I gotta shit again.
Oh.
And you just have that feeling of like, I'm the guy ruining the trip because I can't stop shitting, but they're so nice. And we're going gas station to gas station. Then this is the last full day in Ecuador, so we got to get our tests. Luckily, Ari's friend speaks fluent Spanish. So we go into this place. It's like a medical place. Supposedly they have the test. We got to get a PCR test that they give you the results in 5 hours because you have to have it within 2 days to fly. I go in there and just have my last shit just everywhere. Come out, and you know how when you got that diarrhea, there's eventually a shit that feels different. After the final one, you're like, I think I feel okay.
Yes, that was that. You got it all out.
Exactly, the last of it. So then I come out. They go, yeah, we can give you a test. It was the worst test I've ever had. Fucking both nostrils all the way back there. Don't speak any English. I'm trying to say like El Cowardo, Nervoso. Right. Jams it way up in there. I'm like a child, like squinching. I just finished shitting my brains out. But I'll tell you this. That moment after getting the test done, not shitting for a while, you've just exorcised all the demons. You got all that shit out. We went back, had a nice dinner, chilled out, and I felt alive and accomplished after getting all those shits out and getting the test, negative test, the whole thing.
And now, where the hell are you going? You're like going to a flight somewhere else? I thought you were in Ecuador and you're staying in Ecuador. Can't you take a breather? You still traveling?
Well, that was on the way back. So that was yesterday. I'm still feeling the effects. That was yesterday or 2 days ago, whatever. I had a bad shit today, too. But anyway, so that was somehow I just went into the diarrhea story. I don't know how. I think you mentioned shitting or something. So I just dove into it. But
okay.
No, go ahead.
I just don't know how many places were you at total? I'm confused.
So we went to Quito first, which is the capital of Ecuador.
Okay.
And we stayed there we got in at night, stayed there the next day. We walked around. We went to the Basilica, which is an old church. It's the oldest new Gothic church, whatever that means.
A little oxymoron there.
Posted some photos, and it's a spectacular old church. All these buildings in all these countries are so beautiful. All these old churches and temples and what's the Muslim one called?
Mortuary?
Mosque. Yes, I went to that big one in Istanbul before.
You got to wear it.
So yeah, we went to the church and we climbed up to the roof, which was amazing. There's this huge clock tower. And I got to say, it was some scary shit. I had to face a lot of serious phobias. Like the church, you walk up these stairs, which is fine because it's like enclosed, like one of those old brick things. And you keep climbing and climbing and climbing. But then you get to like the steeple or whatever. I don't know any terms, but the big tower.
Yeah.
And it becomes like a ladder and you're outside. And so you're climbing up this like super vertical ladder. And I had so many of these moments on this trip where it's like being a kid. I don't know if you ever had this where everyone's doing a thing and you're like, I don't want to do that at all. But you don't want to be that fucking pussy that's like, I can't do that. I never wanted to be that guy.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I had that when my friends would jump off of buildings into pools. That was a big thing we did. I was petrified every time, but I just had to do it.
Yeah, you get caught up and you're like, all right, yeah, woo, we'll all climb this thing.
Yeah.
Like, hoping that someone else will be like, I don't really want to do that. And you're like,
Right.
I won't do it if you're not doing it. I'll stick with you, you know?
Yeah, like I don't know how many bar fights you've been in where you're like, oh, your friends are fighting, and you're like, I gotta go towards that thing that I'm terrified to do, but it's never as bad as you think. I mean, once you just get it over with, it's all right. It's usually all right, but man, it is scary going in.
Well, so here's the thing I've been dealing with. So we've been home for the most part for 10, 11 months now. And I've gotten really into my meditation practice. I'm meditating twice a day. And now it's, meetings are much more accessible because of online. So I'm doing all this self-care. In my mind, I'm like this zened out guy now. You can't even faze me.
Wow.
But I also realize because of this trip, a big part of that is because I'm living the easy life over here. I'm not really seeing anybody. There's no meet and greets. There's no pressure of doing shows or coming up with material or all the travel. You're not running into drunks late at night. So that makes it a lot easier. But this was like, I'm at this church and it's like, all right, you got to climb this ladder. And it's like directly up. We're like 7 stories in the air. Outside, the wind is blowing and you're climbing this ladder. And so I was trying to really focus and use the breath to like get up this fucking ladder, and you're on this tower just like, this is great, and the thing's 1,000 years old and there's like birds flying right over. I was shitting my pants.
I get it. Well, if your wife does it though, you got to do it. You can't have the lady go and you not go.
Oh, of course. I mean, I'll never not do any of these things, but I was shitting my own asshole the whole time.
But that's the real bravery, is being terrified and still doing it. The guy who's not scared and does it is just, that's not brave. He's just being himself.
Yeah, that's Ari. Hey, I want to mention this, folks. We have another sponsor, if you can believe it. Tuesdays with Stories is also brought to you by Honey. You know about Honey?
I love Honey. I just heard about it, and it's saving my ass online. I mean, it's basically, it fills in promo codes and coupon codes for when you're trying to buy stuff. You have huge savings, huge discounts. You always got to memorize the promo code. They go on the web in 2 seconds and find it and fill it in for you. It's pretty genius. I don't know how this hasn't existed before. And yeah, go in and save some money. I bought some stuff I bought some booze on the internet, and they hooked me up. So get on it, Honey, folks.
Yes, Honey, folks. That's right. We all shop online, and having a promo code ready to go is tough. But thanks to Honey, I don't have to search for codes anymore. Honey is the free browser extension that scours the internet for promo codes. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out on free savings. It's literally free and installs in a few seconds. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this podcast. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/Tuesdays. That's joinhoney.com/Tuesdays.
Yes, do it, folks. Get on it, save some cash, and why not? It's free. It's a free service, so get going.
Yeah.
I got to say this. Speaking of fear, the biggest hurdle of my life was. Did you have a water park in Whitman?
Not in Whitman, but I've been to a water park or two.
Okay, well, we didn't have one in New Orleans, but we had one in Baton Rouge, and it was a big deal. It's called Blue Bayou, and, they had the Black Moccasin and the Wet Willie and all these crazy slides, but one of them was called the Lafitte's Plunge, and it was like 8 million miles in the air, and it looked like it just went straight down, and the big thing was like, you get some air. You're in the middle of it. You come off the slide a little, and they're all high-fiving and smoking cigarettes, and I'm like, oh, God, I'm trembling up there. And I'm standing up there for like 20 minutes with the douchey lifeguard with the white nose and the whistle. And I'm like, I can't do it, man. I can't do it. I was like 8. And he's like, oh, you make me sick. I got 8-year-old girls going down this thing. And like some kid with floaties would go, woo, and right down. I was like, I just can't do it, man. I can't. I'm making friends with this guy. We shared a cigarette and some stories. And it took me like 3 hours, but I did it.
I have the exact same experience. Ours was called Geronimo. That was the big thing. And it was water country. Same thing. The fucking straight down. And everyone said, you can come off. You come off it. And I remember being petrified. And like, I can't do that. And that one, at that age, I was like, there's no chance in hell I'm going up there. Fuck you. Which even that takes courage at that age to be like, no way, call me a fag, throw me down the stairs. I hate Geronimo. It's cultural appropriation, whatever.
It's problematic now. You can't have that.
Yeah, so I feel you. It was horrifying to me. So I had a few of those in
Did you do it?
Ecuador. The Geronimo, I don't think I ever did.
But you can't go back down those stairs. You got to go back down and go, excuse me. Everybody's going past you on the way up, and you're like, I'm the guy going the wrong way.
No, I never went up to that one, but I've probably talked about it before. I have the most defining moment of my life was I chickened out on Space Mountain in 1991. October 91, I was 9.
What?
My family has never forgiven me. They still fuck with me. It's like the most defining moment of my life. I dealt with it in Ecuador even.
Wow. What is Space Mountain? My parents wouldn't take me anywhere, but what is that?
It's a roller coaster at fucking MGM Studio or Disney World, I think. Whatever, one of those Disney things. And it's
Florida?
It's their signature roller coaster in Orlando. And we went there in October of 91. I still have nightmares about it. And we went, and I was all excited. And I had my mother and my aunt Da, and they were, thick ladies. And I was a boy. I wanted to sit between them. I was like, I'll have these two squishy ladies on either side of me, and I'll be protected. Because I still, to this day, I like roller coasters, but I hate being on the inside when it turns like this. It just feels like you're going to hit your head. They make the poles low. And I just hate, I feel like I'm going to fall out still as a 38-year-old American standing on the face of the moon. So I got there, and Space Mountain, the thing was we waited in line, and I was talking the whole time going down there. I was like, I can't wait for Space Mountain. I'm going to ride it. It's going to be amazing. And we got there, and it sat single file. Like there was no one on either side. You had a single seat, and I couldn't go on not sitting next to these ladies. I wanted some squishy, heavy ladies on either side of me to protect me. Yeah. They weren't there. I needed some airbags. And so I said, I can't go. I chickened out, and they shamed me. They all shamed me. I had to walk back the thing through, and I was like this little kid with Mickey Mouse ears and a fake dick, and I had to walk by everybody. And they all gave me shit. And I tried to do a joke about this years later because they'll still go, remember you chickened out on Space Mountain? And I'm like, remember you chickened out on life? You work at Sears. I'm like, I've been to Iraq. I've been on a Black Hawk helicopter in a war zone. I've walked around in an active war zone. I've been to 28 countries. I went to Machu Picchu. I've been on every roller coaster since. You guys haven't been on a roller coaster since the 70s. I chickened out when I was 9.
And you followed your dream. You moved to New York. You got herpes. You went to the Catch a Rising Star. You got on Letterman and all this shit. You did that. Where they're sitting in a condo in Braintree right now.
Exactly. I'm like, I was on the Tonight Show. Do you have any idea what it's like to be on TV? You fucks. So
yeah, good point.
I got some resentments there, and I try to do it as a bit, and it's just insulting to the audience. They're like, I work at Sears. Fuck you, you fag.
But here's the thing, though, with that Space Mountain, those two menopausal big-titted cunts, is that shame, though, is it drives you. Like, yeah, it's scary to ride that ride, and I totally get it, but just knowing the bullshit you're going to have to deal with if you don't is almost motivating enough to get me on that seat.
Well, okay, so this leads great into my final story. I got so many more, but I'll have to save them for next week. We'll tease, because the most epic thing I'll have to save for next week. I'm afraid to say it because it's an epic story. Ooh. And I feel like me, Ari, and Sarah will all have our own versions on different podcasts. But
right.
But this one, so we're going hiking the first day. So, I didn't get to answer your question, I guess. We landed in Quito, Ecuador. Then we spent a day in Quito, walked up the stairs at the ladder, which was scary.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to keep facing all these dogs everywhere. There's all these feral dogs, which I remember from Peru. It's so scary to me. And then when someone else gets afraid, every once in a while, like Ari would be like, shit, this fucking dog. And I'm like, oh my God, you're afraid.
Right.
So we went to Mindo, Ecuador, which is like this little village town. We had an Airbnb in the middle of the jungle. It was like spectacular, wooden house, beautiful, and just most gorgeous house I've ever been to. Hummingbirds up the ass. All kinds of crazy sounds. Just you can't even believe it. I posted a ton of pictures.
Yes.
So the first day we're in there, the next morning we go out hiking, There's this big hike we're going to go check out. We miss the turn. We're walking up this road, and then we're like, oh, no, it's back this way. So then we get to this little park with this big ski lift rig. And I'm like, God, I'm not getting on that. I can tell you that. And Ari's friend just goes, yeah, we got to take this to the hike. And I go, come on, are you serious? And it's like first of all, you don't know what regulations there are. I'll have to post some pictures and videos. But it's like a ski lift, which I've never gone skiing in my life because I'm too terrified of the lift. I can't have my feet dangling on a chair. It's suspended. It's just crazy. You're a mile in the fucking air.
Yeah, I get it. The ski lift is scary enough, but that is no regulation is what's freaky.
It's insane, and it's just like a lady like smoking a cigarette. She's fat. Her tits are out. She's feeding a kid. She's got tattoos on her face. And we're in the middle of the jungle. I mean, literally, we're in the Cloud City or whatever the fucking Lando Calrissian's the bodyguard. It's just nuts. So I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, we can't walk there. Like, we can drive there. And I'm like, that might be nice. I'm trying to like do the subtle, like, drives are fun, I think.
Yeah.
But, you got to just go along. I can't be the grown man being like, I'm sorry, I can't do it. And I'm looking at it, and it just goes straight up in the air. It's like a 70-degree angle to the top of the mountain. And I'm like, okay, fuck. And they explain there's like these little 2-seaters where your feet dangle off the thing. Then the lady says there's a cabana that seats 4, and there's 4 of us. So I'm like, hey, that sounds cool. It might be fun to all be together because it just sounds bigger. So I'm like, that might be fun. And they're like, nah, we don't want to wait because the cabana's on the other end of the line. So we got to wait for it to come down. But then they have the dog. So they're like, the dog might want to jump and let's get the cabana.
They brought the dog?
Oh, yeah, the dog's down there. Bandit's there.
Oh, my God.
So, by the way, I think the dog hates him. He must be like, can we just hang in the backyard? He's going on like 8-mile hikes and shit.
Exactly. This is cruel. What is it, a support dog?
It's insane. It's a little shit, too. You've seen it.
Oh, yeah, that is a little pipsqueak twat pup.
So, you're talking about Ari? All right. So, sorry, I'll make this as quick as possible. So they're like, all right, we'll get the cabana, which is like, I'm like, all right, that'll be big. It's probably enclosed, whatever. So like,
it
it's going to be
nice.
We're going to be 6 minutes, 6 minutos or whatever. So we're like, okay, great. So now I'm just like sitting in it. I'm sitting in this anxiety, and they fire it up to like bring those 2 cars out and then bring the cabana, and it's like this.
Rickety.
It's this big rickety wheel. It just sounds like, and it just goes straight up into the sky, into the mountain, and you're like, okay. And I'm sitting there doing breathing exercises. Literally, I'm like doing these like straw breathing, square breathing, they call it. And I'm just meditating. And, Ari's like laughing. He thinks it's like funny. And I'm like, I'll be fine, whatever. I'm sure it's safe, whatever. Yeah. So I'm just sitting there in hell for 6 minutes. It comes down, and the cabana, it just looks like the same thing. It's just 2 seats facing each other. There's a floor, but it's not a floor. It's like a grate. You can see through it.
Oh, God. That's not great.
It's a see-through grate, grated cheese. And so I'm trying to just be cool. I'm like, all right, whatever. It'll be fine. Sit down. I'm like looking at, and then when you sit, it's suspended, so it starts rocking right away. It's like, and I'm like, oh, it's like getting on a boat.
Yeah.
Which I love. I have no boat fear. I have no airplane fear, but the outside, there's just no, it's not enclosed at all. I'll send you photos.
Please.
And so I sit down. I'm like, okay, I'll be all right. And Sarah sits across from me. I'm just like staring at her tits the whole time, imagining coming on them.
Sure.
And so we start going up. The dog is making me nervous because the dog's moving around and jumping. The dog's like, what the fuck are we doing? He doesn't want to go on this thing.
I'm with the dog.
So I'm nervous because I'm afraid the dog's going to jump out. What the fuck? I get into my Zen breathing, and I have this moment of like, I'm fine. This is fine. Then I start looking around, and I'm like, this is spectacular. Just relax. Where's the joy? It's not going to fall. If it does fall, we're dead. You can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So now I got a breeze going. Everyone's very respectful. No one's like doing the rock thing, which seems like something Larry would do.
Yeah.
He's cool. I'm staring at Sarah. We have a couple laughs. Now we're getting a little bit higher. It's nerve-wracking, but whatever. The view is just spectacular. It's the Andes Mountains, cloud forest. You can't even believe how beautiful it is.
That's lunch.
We get to the top of the mountain. I'm staring at Sarah because now we're at the highest we're going to go.
Yeah.
I'm looking at her, and I just hear, holy shit, from Ari. I go, what? He goes, we're not even close to finish. I look to my right. It's a huge valley. The ride goes another 3 miles. We're like a fifth of the way through, Mark.
3 miles?
It's like, I don't know if it's 3 miles, but it's way the fuck. You can't even see it. Like, I swear to God, you can't see the other end, and it just drops. It's like a valley. I thought we were going like right there, like a couple hundred yards away, but like straight up.
Yeah.
We're like in it for the long haul. So I get hit with like a bucket of panic. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, there's no way I would have done this. No way. If they show me a video or photo, I'd be like, fuck you guys. You do whatever you want. I'll have a nice time back here.
Yeah.
And it opens up. The floor drops out. We got the stats after. We're 590 feet above the forest.
Oh, my Lord.
And the city is already 9,000 feet up. Well, Mindo's lower. So we're like 7,000 feet above sea level. We're 550 feet above the ground. It's so you can just see right through the bottom. The wind is blowing. It's like breezy up there. We're just suspended, and it just goes forever. And each time you hit a new level, it goes across like the pole. So it goes like... And then I left this part out. The lady, right as we're leaving, says to Ari's friend, don't be thrown if it stops, because it just means someone's getting on the other end. So we're right in the middle of the thing. It stops cold.
Oh!
It's just stopped there. We're just suspended. And I'm like, are you kidding me? And I'm having like OCD intrusive thoughts of like diving off because you just want to get out of there.
Yes.
And I'm having this idea of like unbuckling and just jumping off. So that's freaking me out. And I'm having like a fucking panic attack up here. They're all freaked out too. And then there's this Ecuadorian group on the other side because it comes both ways. You know, it's going each way. And I can hear them laughing. They're having like a great time. They're like, hola, vamos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God. I wanted to kill myself up there. I'm shaking like a leaf.
Oh, what a nightmare.
It's wild, and it just goes and goes. It's literally a 30-minute ride to the other side. Finally, we get there clean.
Jesus.
And then there's a second one we have to go to, like another cable car. This one is like more enclosed. It has a floor and walls. So I'm like, all right, this one won't be so bad, and it's shorter. This one, though, we get on it, it just goes like a missile. It shoots across. It's like 30 miles an hour.
Oh, wow.
So it's like... And that one was pretty fun and exciting, but still pants shitting.
Yes.
We get to the other side. We do a long, huge hike, like a 4-hour hike. Beautiful. Waterfall after waterfall. Just like these unbelievable waterfalls. Spectacular hike. Steamy.
Wow.
One of the coolest hikes I've ever done in my life. But we had to take that fucking thing back again, the long one, which I shit my pants all over again. And this time we stopped for longer, like dead stop, and it's raining. On the way back, it's just raining, and you're fucking 500 feet above the forest.
Yeah.
And it was scary as fuck, but once we got through, I started to like embrace it and just look around. I managed to look down and be like, wow, this is amazing. Like, you're just up in the sky, literally out in the open, above the Andes, the cloud forest. Fuck my ass, cum on my dad's tits. It was pretty spectacular.
Man, I was on the edge of my ass. I squirted. That was bananas. I felt like I was there. Let me just say this about you, and then I know we got to get out of here. Everything evens out. I always say things even out, people even out. Cosby is a buttoned-up, sweater-wearing, Jell-O-hawking rapist. He evens out. You're scared of the ice caps. You're worried your dad's gay. You got cancer. You're freaking out all the time. But yet you'll still... go nuts. I mean, how many people who've called you a pussy would even think about going to Quito or Ecuador or Mingo or whatever the fuck?
Well, I had that moment of like, I am doing it. I'm shitting my pants, but I'm up here. And like, I was telling Louis the story. He's like, I would not in any circumstance do that. I wouldn't do that for $10 million. He's like, I don't even want you to tell me the story anymore. Stop telling me the story. He's like, I'm going to throw up. I don't like hearing about it. So there is that feeling of like, yeah, but I'm doing it. I feel that way with the dentist too. I'm like, I'm shitting my pants. I got a hard on. I spit cum in my own face for fun. But I go. I'm like, a lot of people just don't ever go to the dentist ever. So
right. I
do it. I just get really scared.
Yeah, no, but you did it. I mean, just the flight alone and the testing and the hikes and the shitting, that would just turn me off. Like, it seems like a lot of work. But you did it.
Yeah, we did it. And like I said, I got to tease it because I got an epic, wild tale that happened. It was a real caper we had to pull off, all of us.
Boy.
So I'll
I love
tease
a
that.
caper.
And that involves some serious fear, too. So,
Colin Kaepernick. I'm in.
Count it. I'm grateful to be back. Anyways, what are you doing? Where are you going to be? Well, this is way too long. I'm sorry.
All right. Wow, this was one of those episodes. This weekend I'm in Raleigh, but I think it's sold out. Then I'm in Cincinnati Funny Bone. Then I'm back at Addison Improv in Dallas. And all my shit's on my website. I've gotten my shit together and put everything up. Instagram, Twitter. Check out the Patreon. Get on it, folks. We got all kinds of goodies. And say hello. Buy some merch on TeePublic. And fuck your dad. Thank you.
Yeah. Hell yeah. And I got Side Splitters coming up March 18, 19, and 20. And that's going to be fun. You're not going to want to miss that one. There might be some special guests coming along.
Ooh, boy, oh boy.
Yeah, so get your tickets. You'll see some great comedy. I'm excited about that, and do that. And check out Mindful Metal Jacket. I interviewed this lady, Catherine Price, How to Break Up With Your Phone. And I think I mentioned it. She was really funny and irreverent, and it's on my YouTube. So go subscribe to my YouTube. And check that out. And March 18th to the 20th, Side Splitters Tampa. Get your tickets.
Yeah, that's gonna be so fun. I mean, I was there New Year's. It's one of the best clubs. They run it great. It's like Key West, where you get there, you're like, I just feel alive again. And it's fun.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. So, and I think there'll be some others with me. So come down.
Oh boy. Hey, you can't miss that, folks. That's gonna be a treat. So yeah, tell everybody, go gay. Kiss your uncle, blow your mom, and praise Allah.